What's going on, Tamers? It's your boy Dan from DigiGuard United, bringing you guys today another meta snapshot. Today we have is Pro Play Games North Carolina Regionals. This is the first in-person regional of this format and the last tournament, last regional in this format. So we ended on a good note in my opinion. This tournament had 252 players, 7 rounds of Swiss, and the winner is Red Hybrid. And then the other deck list that made it is Mirage, Levia, Setcon, Red Hybrid, Beals, Gobblebon, which is kind of surprised, right? Blue Flare, Royal Knights, Belfmont, Yellow Vaccine, Newmont, and Armors. Let's hop on over to the first place winning deck list. We have is first place Juan Adolfo Lopez. Congrats to him for getting this dub in this tournament. Red Hybrid has become a deck that's pretty solid. Obviously, you run those Flamons, you run the Ukomons to gain that speed. Your hybrids all the same. Your low 5s all the same. The only thing difference is the occasional Garuda Ace if they decide to play it. Emperor Greymon is a must. Omnimon for game again is a must. Same with the options. Trident Guy has been the one card that's been a newer addition to the deck that's been seen a lot of play more recently, but that's really the difference. The only different thing is on this deck list, he is running Louis. This card allows you to, on play, you may move one of your level 3 or higher Digimon from your breeding area to the air battle area, then you gain a memory. So it allows you to speed up your plays even more, not even just the Ukomon, which is pretty good. And this deck likes to go burr, so we already know that making Red Hybrid faster is even better. Next we have is second place Josh Stalwart, Leviamon. Leviamon kind of fell off a bit, and it seems like it's coming back a little bit. We've seen a couple more tops with this deck list, which is pretty good. It's also pretty soft, I would say. There's probably a lot of personal choices because it's purple, so you're allowed to do that compared to other decks. But you got your usual Gabumon, Gizamon, Gobblex, Gazi, Gobblebon in this deck, and then the one Gilmon for Rush. He is running the Railmon for the draw 2 trash 1 on play and when digivolving. 4 Dober X's is really good. Octomon that gives you the token on your opponent's side, and then only 1 Garurumon, which is a surprise, and no Garuru X as well, which is kind of crazy because Garuru X is just such a good card. You know what I'm saying? It's great for charity, always good. And then his level 5, he's running Dragomon, Cerberus X, and War Siegemon. Again, those are your mainstays and your level 5s. It all depends on the ratio you want them at. And then your level 6s, obviously Leviamon and Levia X. And then you have your Shrew mode to close game potentially. 4 X antibodies, so you have the regular X antibody. When you swing, you can Evo. And then the Protoform that allows you to reduced Evo cost into your Leviamon if you need to. And also your Dober X and Cerberus X that will also help reduce Evo cost. And then of course this deck doesn't never run training, so you tamers, so you always run a high amount of wisdom trainers and purple members. And then of course your usual kill options, 7 lightning and biting crush. Crazy thing about this deck is such a good board control, be able to clear boards from 3 to 7 basically, and then be able to get real aggressive with 3 checks, potentially 3 checks, unsuspend 3 checks again, and then you could go into your rule mode and then close that game, being able to stall them out and not allow them to do anything. It's really good. You also have Gilmon for Rush if you need it, which is pretty cool in this deck. Next we're going to look at is the 6th place Samuel Salazar Leviamon. This version is a little bit different than the one we saw previously. He's running the Siakumon that allows him to on play for each of your opponent's Digimon, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. So if they have a wide board, you can draw a lot of cards and then trash more cards as well, which is pretty good. And in all turns, once per turn, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, gain a memory. So it's also a really good inheritable that feeds well into the deck and what it does. Surprisingly to me is he's playing this Gilmon. I feel like you always see the Rush Digimon, so I don't know if there was like a mistake on this or not. But if it's not, he's running this EX3 Gilmon that states on deletion, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3k or less. If not, Then both players mill 2 cards, which is kind of good, I guess. It helps you facilitate your plays if you need to. Also possibly get rid of other floodgates that might be stopping you as well. So I could see why maybe he runs it. And your usual champion lineup, of course, Stillbrex, Octo, Guru X. And then for his level 5, Cerberus X and Dragomon. Dragomon allows you to play Digimon on your opponent's side, and you can play something as well. Cerberus X lets you play Digimon as well. Good effects. And then Levi, 3 of each. Rule mode, Dex. He's prioritizing the proto form. As you can see, he's running 3 of it. And then the 1 X antibody, still 4 in total, but proto form, I guess he feels is more important, which I kind of agree in this deck because the way the deck works, in my opinion. And then your usual rest of the options, training, and purple med boost. Rival's Mirage is an outlier. You don't really see it as much in Leviathan decks. I feel like he's probably running it for the Fanglong matchup because Fanglong can't be deleted by Digimon effects. So you at least have that Rival's Barrage to kill a Fanglong needed. And then 7 Lightning and Biting Crush, a must. Next we have is Mirage. This is 3rd place Kevin Yee's Mirage list. Again, we're at a point where Mirage has been like dominating this last quarter of the format, and it's a pretty solid deck list at this point. Nothing too crazy. The only difference he's running is the old school Mirage, which does similar things to BT11 Mirage, just not as good. So when Digivolve in game 1, remember for every 4 cards in your opponent's hand. So a very similar effect to what the BT11 Mirage does. So you're able to potentially keep turn more often than not. And then he's unblockable. So, you know, can't be blocked. So you can't be redirected into a block or anything. Pretty good in my opinion. Again, nothing out of the ordinary in this version. Next we have is the boy, 11th place, Drew Santa. Congrats to him. He's able to get 11th place and get his reach his Nats invite. And his deck is tech the F out, you know what I'm saying? He got a lot of 1-ofs, a lot of spicy deck cards in this version. And he was able to get 11th place, which is pretty cool. So first off, he's running 1 Madoki and 1 Siakumon, the floodgates of blue, being able to stop your opponents being able to gain memory, and then Siakumon stops your opponent from reducing evo costs, which is really good against, you know, your opponent's Mirages, against Numon for Madoki specifically, and just any other deck that runs training cards or whatever, you know. And then he's running this 1-of Galgamon. I feel like this card doesn't get ran as much anymore, which is a pretty solid card still. When attacking, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, gain one memory, which is not too bad. And then his inheritable, when attacking, if you have a tamer in play, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to his own hand. So being able to get rid of potential pesky floodgates is really good. Potential Ukomons, Vmons, whatever that's on board, you know what I'm saying? But it also adds another card to your opponent's hand, which, you know, facilitates Galgamon's combos really well. And then for his level 5s, he is running the BT13 Mount Galgamon. You don't really see this card get played as often currently, but I think moving forward in the BT16 format, which is the Magna X format, this card will definitely be ran, possibly at 4 of, because of Magna X, you know. What this card does is, when attacking and your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, for the turn this Digimon attack target can't be switched, so that means you can't be blocked, you can't be redirected. And then if you evo into, you know, Mirage effect, bounce a card to your opponent's hand, whether it's by on board or security, all turns you unsuspend, so then you could swing again, and that effect lingers. So it will stay in the Mirage, and then you go burst mode and you keep going, you know, you can pop off and your opponent can't do anything about it. Mirage has become a deck that is just very, it's basically like old school Beals in a sense, where like at its prime, there's nothing your opponent could do about the deck. If they could do everything they need to do, they win. If they can't, then you have potential to win, you know what I'm saying? And then your usual option lineup, mental training, blue man boost, full moon Meteor Impact. That card is a tongue twister for me sometimes. And again, last tech he's running is Digimon Emperor. This card is really good. This allows you to stall out your opponent's Digimon who are running, you know, low to the ground type decks, like Numon with their Ukomons or any other floodgates that might be in raising. Because when your opponent raises a Digimon's level 3, you just gain 2 memory, so that potentially steal turns. That could stop Mirage from opponent's Mirage, and they decide to raise a rookie early, and you had this out, that will slow them down. They had to maybe wait a turn Evo back, and they felt like they could have done something but can't, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things you could do. This card does really well in this format, I think. And it also Red Hybrid. Red Hybrid is a big you know, proponent of using Uko and sometimes just raising Flame Rush just a swing. Really good card, and I think this card will get even better in my opinion in BT16 as well. Next we have is Beelzemon. This is 4th place Peyton Cooper Beelzemon deck list. Again, this is another deck that's pretty cookie cutter at this point. You already know what is, you know, the 4-ofs, the 1-ofs, you know, all that stuff. Nothing too crazy here. You already know they're gonna want mill. If they can high roll on their mills, then they pop off and they just win. You know what I'm saying? There's not much you can do about it, realistically. Next we have is this is Michael Floodung, 5th place Galvando, aka Primitive. I'm pretty sure he did a deck profile for this, so I won't go too much in details about this because he already did, so you can check out his channel if you really want to see what he says. But you know, Galvando was a rush deck prior in OG days, and today, guess what? You're still rushing. Ukomon makes it even more faster. Louis makes it faster as well. Being able to raise multiple Digimon in a turn possibly and swing out is kind of crazy. And then he's running this offensive plugin to give the Galvando potentially 6 checks in 1 turn, because you could potentially swing unsuspend 3 times. So 2 checks, swing, swing for 2 checks, unsuspend, swing 2 checks, unsuspend, swing again. You know what I'm saying? Crack card in my opinion. And you know, Galvando still can do Galvando things, which is crazy. From a BT 7 deck, is that what it was? BT 6 deck, crazy. Congrats to him for it. Next we have is Blue Flare that we're going to be talking about. 7th place Alan Jones. This is, I believe, the first Blue Flare deck we've seen top and in this format, because Blue Flare is kind of fallen off. It's still a really good deck in my opinion, but you know, just other decks are just as good. This deck is a little bit, you know, different for sure. You got your Galsmons, obviously you got to run him at 4 of, and he's running Uko. I think this is a good deck for Uko because you don't care about your rookies as well. He's running the Red Greymon, so you're getting that aggression to swing 2 checks, potentially unsuspend, swing 2 more checks. Your usual guys you see at level 4s, also the male Bergermon, the blue Greymon, Dextramon, and all that good stuff. Male Greymon 4, of course. And he's running Male Greymon X, which is spicy, so this gives you real aggression more than usual. So, you know, basically for 3 costs, you basically swing for 3 checks potentially, because if you Digicross with this for 3, you put this Greymon, the 2nd attack +1, you get your stuns out of it, you go Male Greymon X, you go over for free, and you swing for 3 checks. If you have this male Bergeron, he has generic jamming, so it's just never going to die. And then, okay, never mind, you can't do that if you need it. But yeah, you gain jamming 3 checks, you know, pretty cool. And then after that, you can go into Z Greymon, because this also did you also for red and unsuspend, and potentially do another 3 checks if you need to, you know. He Digivolve for 2 over Male Greymon, and then he gains memory back, I believe. Yeah. So you could potentially, you know, do 6 damage in 1 turn if you really need to, if you had like the perfect hand for it. And then he's running the, what is it, Cyber Launcher, I think. The Male Greymon Cyber Launcher, which is not bad of a card. Deck of Greymon is solid, and then your options Sorai, Blazing Memory Boost, which is such a crack card in my opinion. For 5 to be able to dig for 6, I think it is, right? Dig 6 and add 2, and then potentially play a Kiryu, which is such a good card in my opinion. And then 3 Kiryu and then 3 Kiryu Nene is a must. And then I didn't mention it, I kind of skipped it to the end, but he is running the one Azul on Ace. I think that's a really solid card. Being able to Ace play in this deck, because sometimes you just chill on the low 5 mil Greymon. There's nothing else you can do about it, right? So you can do that. You go into here, you know, bounce a low 5 to your hand, and then potentially unsuspend. Really good card in my opinion. Definitely a good card. And then on deletion, delete one of your opponent's highest level Digimon. Always good. You might have the overflow, but you're at least getting rid of something else as well. Pretty good. I really like the tech choice of it for this deck. Next we have is Royal Knights. This was the 8th place Century of Souls Royal Knights deck list. We've seen Royal Knights popping up recently. So this deck is basically the same as the other one, I think. If I remember correctly, there's a couple differences. The one off the rip is the Porcupine. So this will on play, I think, and on deletion. Yeah, on play, on deletion, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. The inheritable is irrelevant because you never Digivolve over this, but being able to get rid of your opponent's pesky floodgates, especially in this deck, like if they have anything that's a Psychmon related floodgate, that's problematic for this deck, right? This deck can't do anything unless you get rid of that. And then everything else is pretty standard. We're noticing the Royal Knights playing this Magnumon, so this is a good, like, kind of like a Sec Bomb, honestly. Just being able to Digidraw 1 is really good. And then he's a cheap cost blocker for you early game as well with the BT13 Magnumon, so it's a really good card in my opinion for the deck. And then you got your usual suspect for everything else. Nothing to really talk about too much here. Only other thing, he is running 4 Digimon Emperor. That is pretty crazy. He said no to anybody raising rookies, especially against this deck. Especially you have like 3, 4. Imagine you have 4 of these out on board at once. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a wild move. Pretty cool though. Next we have is Belphemon. This is 9th place Brody Eastwood. Belphemon deck list. Again, we've been seeing Belphemon popping up in the last half or so of regionals, making top 16s, and this deck is pretty solid in my opinion still. If you see the cards early on that you need, like Uko and Unlock you really speed through the deck faster than you can previously. For his rookies, he's running the Ukos obviously and the Gabu, so starter main, gain of memory, and then he has the inheritable when attacking, draw 1, trash 1 from your hand. You're running the 1 Eismon Scatterbo. I think you still gotta run it just because if you see it, it just pops off for you. Being able to draw 3, trash 2, always really good. You have your Gizumon package, always great to have. Railmon, again, another card that lets you draw 2, trash 1. And it's only 4 costs, so it doesn't feel as bad. He's running the 1 Valmon blocker, which means if he goes with the Belphemon combo with Asta, then you can play Valmon from trash for free. Always good in my opinion. And yeah, and everything else pretty usual, you know what I'm saying? 4 Asta, like I said, Gizumon package, 4 Belphemon sleep mode and rage mode. He is running 2 Sword Defeat, which is interesting, I guess. Being able to pop your opponent's Digimon tamers and then kill their Digimon if it dies as well, so it's not too bad. And then the Dexmon, I think Dexmon is a must in this format for almost any deck outside of, you know, Mirage and like Red Hybrid, because decks will go wide in this format, especially against Dumon, Yellow Vaccine, it kills. So Dexmon does so much in this format right now. Calling is a must in this deck. Gift of Darkness, really good card for this deck. Being able to kill level 6 or higher, I believe it is. I believe one of your opponents level 6 or higher, yep. Then one of your Digimon may Digivolve into sleep mode from your trash while paying the cost. Really good. Oh my god. Messing up here. Analog Youth is a must nowadays, especially with the limitations of scatter mode that lets you fill your trash and gain your pieces. And then of course Akihiro, always a must in this deck. Next we have is Yellow Vaccine. This is the 10th place Yellow Vaccine, Corey Poff. Yellow Vaccine is pretty, it depends on which version you want to play, I feel like. So it changes a little bit. You can go like the heavy armor side, even though we're not at the armors yet, but you can play armor champions still in this format and like go Mega Gargo or something. or go into like a Mitama version, or even a Serafi Magnadramon. We saw that one. This one is kind of like a mix of all three. It looks like you got your Kudamons, your Patamons, obviously Satamon. That's your must and your rookies. Of course, your low fives is your aces, so that's a must. Gaodamon's a solid card because if this gets trashed, you can play for free from your security. Solid. And then he has barrier. Yeah, when the card is moved from your security, gains game one memory, and when the effect trashes this card from the security stack, you may play it without the cost. Really good. Angemon, really good, especially against virus decks. Just say bye-bye to any of them. Rapamon, solid. Mitamon really does a lot for this deck in my opinion. When Digivolve and when attacking by trashing the top card of your security stack, you may play one yellow low 4 lower card from your hand without paying the cost. And then they also gain rush, so you just get real aggro, and then everything gains barrier, which is really good. And it has a stall effect, whoops. Being able to all your opponents Digimon with levels greater than or equal to the total cards on both security stacks gain second attack -2. So you have to get rid of this Mitamon. If you can't, then you're just stuck in the situation. And then Serafimon for more than aggro plays, being able to gain second attack +1 and recover, always really good. And -7 to something on board, really good. Room mode is a must. Emissary of Hope, we all know how busted that card is. Revelation at 4 of. Really good too, being able to neg 5 to the whole board, like a mini room mode play, really good. And then we're seeing a lot more recently Kari being played in Yellow Vaccine, the purple one. So anytime a card is moved from security stack, you gain a memory. So that includes yourself, so you get aggro with it, which is really cool. TK 4 must, and then running the Kari that lets you when you recover one, gain a memory. So all your teams allow you to gain memory based on your, security, which is really good. Extends a lot of plays super easily. You can easily go from like 3 to 6, no problem, and then pop off, which is really good. Next we have is Numamon. This is probably the lowest place Numamon that I've seen, being at 12th place, which is pretty crazy. Deadly Valentine, black base Numamon. Again, this is another deck that's really solved. Nothing too crazy about it. You got your Ukos, Agumon, he's running Chumon. Your set of Numons is a must as well. Monzi, World Chimera, Monzi X, Zulong, Platinum, Venus, Quantum, yada yada yada. We kind of know what this is. Solid deck list, especially black base. We already know what it does. Nothing to talk about here really. Next we have is Setcon. This is the 14th place Mason Klessel Setcon. This version, oh no, it's not. That's not it, I don't think. Next one is a little bit spicier. So this one is more of your usual Setcon nowadays, I feel like. Pillowmon, Salamon, your Magnus, Azulon Ace is a really good card. Venge Kidmon to recycle cards, recycle options back to the deck. Play for potentially free at times, they're super cheap. Shao Serafi, great card. Venusmon, great card. Gallant, you already know. Death X, again, you already know. Playing Lament, Longy, Revelation, Flame Hellside, Reinforcing, Chaos Dag, Wyvern's Breath, X Program. These all cards that's pretty standard in your Setcon deck nowadays. Digimon Emperor, Kari, and then TK. You already know what Setcon does. Recover, try to not lose. Their whole gameplay is to make sure you don't lose. You know what I'm saying? So that's their gameplay usually. So yeah, let your opponent waste all their resources. Next we have, this one's a little bit more spicier one I saw off the rip. This is the 15th place Setcon, so Tracy Wilson. This person's deck is a little bit different than your usual, right? So off the rip, you see the Zoodle Ace. So it's pretty cool attack she's running. And you have a Zulong Ace. So it doesn't, it doesn't feel bad, right? Because you gonna always have a play above it to be able to go into. So she's they're running 2 Zulong Ace, so you can see it probably more frequently. And then your Shao Serafi Death X, pretty standard. And then option lineup, I noticed one card specific, I should say. Is the Schwartz Lahartz. This was a hybrid card back in the day. So what this card does, if anybody doesn't know, because it's been a long time since it's been played, I feel like It's for 6 costs, made for each Digimon with a hybrid and its traits. And each tamer you have in play, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. So if you have like 3 tamers on board, you get rid of 3 Digimon that's level 5 or lower, which is still a really solid card if you think about it, right? And then everything else is your pretty standard, you know, Setcon stuff. Add options: Lanky, Revelations, Flame, Holy Wave, Reinforced Memory Boost, Chaos Deck, Wyvern's Breath. And then for tamers, Mimi, Digimon Emperor, Kari, and Kari Kamiya. So yeah, you know, your usual stuff. And finally we have is armors, 16 place armors, Nicholas Sampson. This deck is pretty, again, nothing too crazy about it. The only difference I see is running the one of Star Deck Vmon, which the main effect is going to be irrelevant because you're not playing any ult forces, but it has an inheritable. When attacking, you have 7 fewer cards in your hand, you can trigger draw 1. So another way to draw in this deck is always good. And everything else is your usual: the Vmon Searchers, the Jamming Vmon, Ukos, really good, you know. Zudo Ace, I think, is a must in this deck nowadays. And then Lydramon, 4 Lydramon, and then 4 Magnas, the Star Deck, BTA Magna, BT13 Magna. The only thing I'm surprised he's not running is Magna X. But I guess he's going with a more aggro version because he's running 3 Fire Rockets, so he's just staying low to the ground. I'm just going, you know, smack you as fast as possible, which is ain't bad of an idea in my opinion. And then 4 Heaven's Judgment, I just realized that. That's pretty crazy. You always see kind of like a 2, I feel like, in this deck and armors. 4 of, you're probably guaranteed to see 1 in security probably, and then at least guaranteed having in your hand. You have a lot of colors in this deck. You have yellow, blue, green, green, black, and white, and purple if you really want to get crazy and somehow have that as well. So you can really pop off, get like neg 18 pretty easily. Probably get to neg 24 with ease. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty crazy to think about. And yeah, that's about it for this meta snapshot. If you guys want to see more from us, let us know. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think of this top 16 deck list. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button for us. And until we catch you on the next one, peace.